Hey, it's B. Corey. I do weekly, predominantly plant-based meal preps. So I'm gonna jump right into what was on the menu for this week. We had black bean and carrot stew with smashed potatoes, falafels and roasted cauliflower, and a Denver omelet with vegan ham. So let's jump right in. So I'm going to start first with the black bean stew and smashed potatoes, particularly the smashed potatoes. I dumped a bag of baby potatoes into a pot of boiling water, and I cooked them until they were fork tender. Excuse my cilantro knife. Once they were cooled down, I smashed them very gently with my fork. You can also use a potato masher for these, but you're just really trying to get a nice little indent in them. I added olive oil, salt, pepper, and garlic powder before I roasted these on 400. When they came out, they're nice and crispy on the top, but still soft in the middle and very, very delicious. For my black beans, I used dried black beans that I soaked overnight. I drained them and rinsed them underwater before I added them to a pot of water about 1 inch high. I let the beans boil for 10 minutes before I turned the beans off and just let them sit in the hot water for 2 hours. While those were boiling, I went ahead and chopped up the carrots or the veggies that I was going to add to the stew. So that's about half a bag of carrots that I chopped, as well as 3 mini sweet peppers, about half an onion, and 1 Roma tomato. And I left all of the slices for this, or the chunks for this, pretty large because I wanted it to be a little bit heartier of a stew. And that's what I ended up with. So I went ahead and put these in a pot and just let the water and juices sweat out for about 7 minutes before I added 2 cups of veggie stock and my black beans, my cooked black beans back in. These were the seasonings that I went ahead and added, as well as a tablespoon of tomato paste. After about 20 minutes, it started to get a little bit thicker, so I added my garlic and cilantro. And at that point, as well as a 1/4 cup of corn, I put the lid on it, turned the heat off, and just let the flavors melt together for a minute before I put it in my Tupperware and stored it. I made this avocado crema. I'll have all of the ingredients listed to the side. It was too spicy for me, so I didn't actually eat it, but if you can take heat better than me, then you'll probably enjoy it. Next, I went on to make the tofu for my Denver omelet. That's what I made the vegan ham out of. I didn't press my tofu because I was actually trying out something new this week and I was going to boil it. So I just took it straight out of the package, cut it into columns, and then put it into boiling water for about 20 minutes. The texture did change. It was still spongy. It felt kind of fatty though, so it was really interesting. I think it could work well in some different recipes. But yeah, so it felt a little bit fattier than tofu usually does, and I just put the boiled tofu in my regular tofu bacon or tofu BLT seasoning. So it's 1 part soy sauce to 1 part water with pepper, paprika, tomato paste, liquid smoke, and sometimes I also put some maple syrup in there, as well as some fresh cloves of garlic. So I let that sit for at least 30 minutes before I fried it and got it all nice and crispy and golden brown and delicious. So good. And I cut it into chunks, added it to 2 whisked eggs, and then I didn't think to do Denver omelets until after I made this first one. So I'll throw in some pictures. The difference is really just adding some peppers and onions to the mixture as well. Don't judge my omelet folding skills here. It's hard to do it with one hand, but yeah, I just added some cheese to the inside and to the top and let it get all melty, and y'all, this was so fire. I mixed up the different parts of my meal prep this week, so I ate this with my black beans, I ate my potatoes with my falafel. I pretty much ate a new combination every day this week. So moving on to my falafel and cauliflower, I started first with the cauliflower and just washed a whole head before I destemmed it and cut it into its florets. I would definitely use fresh cauliflower for this. Frozen cauliflower is going to be just too watery. The seasonings I used were olive oil, salt, and pepper, and then I did also add some chili powder in as well. I just went ahead and mixed it with my hands before I added it to my baking tray and baked it on 400 for about 40 to 45 minutes. This is what they look like when they came out. You can just roast them to your preference. I like mine to get dark and crispy, but yeah, simple side. And then for my falafel, dried chickpeas is the key to a good falafel. So those chickpeas had been soaking for 24 hours, and I just put them in a plastic bag because I needed the mason jar for my black beans. But 24 hours of the chickpeas, and then I just added the rest of the ingredients with the chickpeas into a food processor and blended it all up. So the rest of the ingredients are 1 head of parsley, 1 head of cilantro, 3 cloves of garlic, 1 seeded jalapeno, and half an onion. For the seasonings, I used cumin, coriander, and nutmeg. The recipe below says cardamom, but I didn't have that, so coriander and nutmeg are good in combination if you don't have any cardamom. So yes, I just blended and pulsed everything until it was minced and all combined, and then I added it to a bowl, and I added 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour and some baking soda, and mixed it all together, and then I put some plastic wrap on it and stuck it in the fridge for at least 30 minutes. Again, the full recipe with all of the proportions will be listed below. So after I let it sit, I went ahead and pattied these out. You can definitely, the recipe has instructions on how to fry these 2 different ways and how to bake them, so choose your own adventure. I just decided to bake them this week because I had some other things I wanted to get done that morning, and this was just going to be simpler. But yeah, just patty them out, spray the tops of them with cooking spray, and then pop them in the oven for 20 minutes on 400, but you will flip them halfway through so that they get crispy on both sides. And then yeah, this is what I ate the first day. I served it with my cauliflower, hummus, and some cucumber. Very refreshing meal, very filling meal. I was really happy with how this turned out. Alright, that's all I have for you guys this week. I hope you enjoyed these recipes. If you try them, please leave a comment down below. I'm really interested to see how you enjoy them or what tweaks you've made to them. Thanks so much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe, and I will talk to y'all in the next one. Peace.